So yeah, so you're standing outside of the mansion, or you moved away some from the mansion, if I remember correctly, the previous time, because you were discussing something.
Yeah.
You were going to discuss something.
We started traveling, right, towards the destination. While we
Yeah, I can, for immersion's sake, I can travel, or I can put you over to the generic roadmap.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're of course free and allowed to talk.
I guess we should discuss now that I have the invisibility up. And I can't see anything. Can I?
No, you cannot. You can. The problem is though that you can't see anything. You're blind. No.
Oh shit. That's new.
So you have to kill an old man and drain all his blood. Is that the task we got?
Yeah, she wanted us to kill probably someone in my family.
And how do you feel about that?
Not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I can say
don't
it's
want
not
to kill. I don't want to kill anybody either.
Well, we are probably gonna need to kill a vampire.
Yeah, I hope so.
But like her fucking dog dude servant was powerful enough to take us, right?
Yeah, but the good thing about going to a home place is that maybe we can get some help from there.
Yeah, we need help then. I think. You think they will believe us?
Yeah, I don't think he's not gonna believe us because
Your reputation is good at home.
yeah, like well, my father was really mad when I went away, but I think usually his anger just cools down after a while.
It's a cooldown.
Yeah, it's a cooldown. So a special ability, you know. And as long as he has cooldown, yeah, he probably gonna help us because we have always been, the side of good. So if something evil's gonna disrupt that peace, I think it would actually help us.
Yeah.
So is the guy we're charged to kill, is he good or is he bad?
If they're right, that it's my. I don't think it's my father because he's a good guy, but he's not that pure. He has his faults. Could be my grandfather, but at the same time, he could be very far away as well because they are traveling all the time. So
Yeah, but she said that this guy never left the house, or at least implied that he doesn't leave the house often.
maybe your grandfather has been become sick or something, and you don't know about it.
it could be. He's a possible good one, but he's not a leader in the village though. But
How
my
far to
uncle,
the village again?
3 days.
3 days. How long from the main road did we get dropped? Is it quite a bit into the woods or?
I think we're not gonna go back to the main road.
Okay.
I think we should cut through the forest and because it's just an almost straight south from here.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna take too much time if we go back to the main road.
Yeah, sure. You know these parts. Have you been to these woods maybe when you were a kid and stuff?
A little bit, but it's not like I'm super known. But we have a map, so we should be able to go around.
And it's time for long rest soon, or like a camp, I guess. Not a long rest, but. Is it late?
It is late, indeed.
we should
I
probably.
could probably make a camp or something.
Yeah.
Well, we should use Santa's hut, not your. No offense, MacGyver.
Offense taken. But
It's
like,
like
if we go to your town and tell them about the threat, will we get help potentially, or is it like if we go and tell them, they will think we are evil and trying to trick them?
No, I don't think they're going to believe that his own daughter is going to trick them. But I think depends on how you know. I don't know what kind of help we're going to get. But I will think we're going to get some help. But it could be. I hope that we can get some soldiers and we can just meet that fucker and just beat her up. But it's hard to tell.
I don't
before we
hit women.
get there. Then it's too bad for you because she doesn't care about you being a man or a woman.
I
That's
only
not a
do
woman
this.
anymore.
I only
Think of it
only
as
use.
a dead being.
Okay,
at
so
least
we
the
can finger
Santa's.
blast.
It's nothing anymore. It should be dust.
It should be. Would be best.
Yeah, well,
Can't
I guess
believe I
we'll.
got tricked by some undeads.
Well,
into thinking
they.
I was mad.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably are pissed about that, right?
Am I pissed about that? Do I look pissed?
Well,
Well, no.
Kinda.
you seemed a little bit angry in your voice. I haven't heard it
I
like
don't
that
get
before.
I don't get pissed.
Okay.
Sure.
That's a lie, Sontash. Isn't that illegal in your religion?
I'm not pissed. Okay.
Come on, bro.
But we probably should find a place to put up the Santage tent again. No offense, McGarry.
Fence again.
Well, it's just like your tent is from Biltema, and the Santage has bought some nice Elkjøp tent.
It's no big deal, Auron. Next time we need to use my Biltema tent, it's probably room for one less.
Oh, it's okay. I prefer to sleep under my
My
XSL shield. So no problem.
your rock and your food source, the ground.
Then you don't
Yeah.
need the hut. Then you can just dig
We
down.
can bury him under some rocks like a weight blanket.
Yes.
He sleeps
that
more
sound nice?
comfortable with a weight blanket of rocks.
I prefer to sleep with everybody so I can protect you guys. And don't let Langa eat breakfast alone.
The bandits. Well, I think I should, tell you a little bit about, the village itself, maybe, I guess. And when, or I think we'll think my father is there, but please don't have some respect, because even though I'm a noble, I don't really, care that much that people don't, bow and show me respect in that manner. But first
we won't embarrass you, will we? Oron?
I respect people that respect me. No problem.
You heard the
yeah,
man.
but you know how you have. Do you have nobles in where you're from?
Well, we had some vault keepers that was highly ranked. No, sorry, I can't. So I always get tricked by that. There was no vault keepers. It's a secret. I can't
Vault
answer
69.
So
it. Yeah, well, there was some dwarven people, that was of bigger or more importance, I guess, and we had to, like, you were supposed to let them pass and stuff.
Just treat them like your uncle.
Well, I respected my uncle. I treated them real nicely.
I got a bad feeling about this, but you should at least, pay respect first, and he will respect you back. But if you open with just blabbering around and not paying attention and stuff, he probably will not like you. But
So, are you saying that George and Tommy needs to go on an adventure?
no, you
No.
need to behave.
Oh,
That's what I'm
Adventure.
telling you to do.
I just look at Auron.
Well, you'll manage.
Yeah, you probably will, I guess.
We
And
have a lot of stakes, so
I could tell you a little. Well, I kind of fear to you to know, I guess, because it probably is going to get in the light anyway. So when you get there, there might be a little talk about my brother. I have a twin brother.
It's always looks like you as well.
No, he's a man and I'm a woman, but we are
You can
twins.
look
We are not.
similar.
Well, yeah, we look similar. We are not the same, And well, I said that I've been searching for a sword, right?
yeah.
Well, it is actually well, I'm searching for a sword. That's correct, but I'm searching it for trying to stop my brother because he's cursed by a sword, another sword, and as I've been told by my what should I call it?
Great grandfather.
No, my what should you say spirit guide and the Raven
Spirit
Queen
guide.
that I need that to break the curse. You don't have to
Okay.
mention to my father and my brother, but it might get up, and I think it's better for you to know that instead of ta-da.
What is your brother's
Surprise.
name?
Why do you always ask? I have
Well, I'm just like paying respect.
Kalvar. It's Kalvar is his name. I will mind the iron blanket in my head right there. Same as Kalvar.
Iron blanket. Yeah.
And well, he was a paladin, or is a paladin. It's kind of hard to tell. I was with him in the last mission when we kind of found that sword, and it turned him mad. He butchered all of his, other companions, and the only thing, the reason I think he can be saved is because he managed to, take control of himself and let me live.
Yeah.
And after that, I haven't seen him. So yeah.
But so you're looking for your brother and the sword then?
Yeah. Hopefully finding the sword first because I don't want to meet him without it. But
So is he on a killing rampage?
I don't know. I only know that his we Asimari have like this guide that you are born with, like kind of hard to tell, but that's why I can have my wings and stuff. Is because I have this connection with angels and godlike creatures, and he has lost that connection, so he has become more like grayish, and maybe he has some skeletal wings instead. But I don't know if it's going on a killing spree. I haven't heard that it's going on a killing spree, but you never know. I don't know what he's been doing. I haven't found him yet, so kind of hard. to know what he's been doing, to be honest. But I hope I don't hope he's.
Sounds
been-
like he's up to no good.
That he
Mm.
probably is, but
In the neighborhood.
I
He's
know
no
that
good.
he's no. Well, he's good, but the sword is not good for him. So, yeah, that's why I'm searching for sword, because that sword is said to be the opposing sword of that's cursed him. So
So you need to find the sword that cursed him, but
No.
wouldn't that curse you?
no, I have to find another sword that can oppose that sword, because as I understand it, my patron, where I got my warlock's magic stuff from, it's a patron called the Raven Queen, and she have made lots of weapons, and both that sword that has cursed my brother and the sword that can save him.
That sounds weird.
So
Well, she kind of just makes things and just like kind of put them on the material plane, and she doesn't care what the mortal people do, I guess. with
Very
it.
chaotic.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's evil, but she's not good either. She's kind of doing what she wants, I guess.
So you have to
How do
find a
you-
sword.
how do you know that she speaks the truth?
Well, I can't know for certain, can I?
Ah,
It's the only clue I got, so I have to, try to follow it up.
Let's find her an intimidator.
Yes, let's find the one that gives me powers.
Yes.
Intimidator, that gonna go well. She's not
It's gonna be
probably not
easy.
stronger than me. No.
So the sword is also a twin sword of your brother's sword, since you are twins. Twin swords.
Should be, for all I know. I haven't found out that much about it yet, so
So he
That's
has a
what-
dark and you need light. Dark against light. That's a classic. I read about it in a book.
Which book?
enlighten me.
Good and Evil. It was the title. Have you read
Was
it, Mark, ever?
was it your uncle that wrote the book, or?
Should I know? I didn't know. He just read it to me, and I looked at the pictures and stuff. When I was a kid.
Read what book?
Good and Evil it's called. It's probably just his notes from his adventure. I don't know. Why are you always asking questions?
Because you proclaim you have information. But yeah. But now we know a little bit more of the nitty-gritty stuff about me, I guess. But yeah.
Did you live in a hole as well?
No.
Oh. So you lived in that city we are visiting now? Before?
Yeah, we are going to my hometown, yes.
Oh. What's the best bakery in town? Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe
Is that relevant
maybe
now, Oran?
I don't
whoa!
really know the cook at the castle or some of the locals ones. I don't really.
It's because you're nobles. You're like above knowing the local baker. I see how
No,
it is.
it's just that
I see how it is.
like a bagel's a bagel, I guess. I don't really care that much about food, but okay.
I mean, either way, we need to.
I'm
Need to
I'm
plant some
gonna try not to speak. I think.
Well, we should resting place. I guess is getting super dark.
Yeah, let's rest and then we'll plan a bit on the way.
Well, we have plenty of time still, like 3 days to walk. In the
Yeah.
middle of the woods. Like, no offense, but it sucks to walk here without a road.
Yes.
We'll just find some rocks, then I guess it'll be.
Yeah, it will be so much more home, like some rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you can just have like 4 rocks, and you can put them in front of me so I can walk on them the whole time.
Yes, we're gonna be there next week. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we
Don't
should
worry.
talk about.
We can put you in the bag of holding, and then you can just be
Come
in
out
there.
to breathe
some
sometimes.
rocks.
What is a
Yeah,
bag of holding?
I can make one.
What is it?
It's a bag that holds stuff.
Oh, so like a bag.
Yes, but a big bag. That's a little bag.
Bag of
A
holding,
big
a bag that
bag
holds
that
stuff.
It's
Okay.
like it's a really normal looking bag that's actually a huge bag.
You should be a salesman.
Maybe later.
So it's a small bag that can get bigger when you put stuff inside it. It's not what every bag does. Like you can, if the bag is empty, then it's small, and then you put stuff in it, it becomes bigger.
No,
Oh,
it's a small looking bag that's actually a huge bag.
There's room
oh.
for lots more, I guess.
Let's put a pin in that, and
Yeah, let's go to
Fine.
let's find some place to put up.
Yeah.
Can I look for a suitable place to camp
You can roll nature.
or survival?
Let's see, nature.
I was
Uh,
maybe.
Plants,
Well,
animals, nature cycles.
I think survival because
survival. You might follow tracks, hunt, wild game, guide to throws man, hunting. Yeah, we can use survival. Yeah. No one really.
cares. So it's
No one really covers that. But I guess survival is the closest. Yeah.
if you want to find a campsite, you have water and stuff.
I just
Fair enough,
wondered
makes
if
sense.
it's survival. Can I assist since I'm?
Yeah, of course.
I'll assist.
guidance.
You don't have to assist though, because Nurslar has advantage.
Ah,
I cast guidance at Nursla as well.
Yeah. Shit. Anyway.
that's better.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
20
a lot.
and
I rolled the first time already.
oh, you rolled the first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or did I?
So in the middle of the woods, even though there's not like a super flat surface without any or too much trees nearby, you find what seems to be a perfect spot right in the middle of 2 trees that seems to have dry grass on the ground as well, so that there is like no soaky things that you could like slowly descend into as you're
Moisty things?
yeah, that you're trying while you're casting your ritual. So you find a spot that you would consider perfect.
Yeah. I guess I'll ritual cast the tent there then.
Yep. During those 10 minutes.
taking too much time.
Is there
He's
anything?
looking like I am when he does that thingy. What the fuck is going on? Is there 2 of them now?
I would like to do nothing.
Cast spells so hard,
You're very much allowed to do nothing.
Thank you.
Bit more fun if you said you can't.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to.
You cannot do nothing. Now, so
Dice, don't breathe.
if anyone doesn't want to do anything, the 10 minutes pass without a hitch, and Suntash has managed to pop up the... Is it Leomund's tiny hut? Is that what it's called? Or yeah.
That's
So you
So
have a safe
before-
and dry place to rest.
Before we go to sleep, Langa, if you awake of any sort of reason or get out of your trance, get another person up as well. Don't wander off alone again.
By the way, do you want the first or the second?
I can take the first.
That counts for everybody though. If anybody
Yeah.
awakes,
Just don't leave the tent. It's safe inside.
mostly.
Well, if something hits us
Huh?
inside, then everybody gets hit. So
3 ancient black dragons just standing around.
Uh,
Waiting.
What penetrates it again? Is it like abilities, but not much?
Dragon
not much-
fire?
yeah, abilities and stuff penetrate it. So dragon's breath, that sort of thing, penetrates the tent because it's
I
not
think I'll
considered
wait-
magical
wait.
abilities. No magical
I think-
spells.
I think I will awake if a dragon breath.
Yeah, I think so as
I
well.
really hope so.
Yeah. Or maybe not. Depends on your HP, I guess.
yeah.
Or
that's-
your rolls again. Your
Yeah.
godly rolls.
Yeah, I think you would sleep through it. Honestly.
But you can indeed press the long rest button.
Ooh, sweet.
You can remove a -1 on you, Lunga.
Yeah, so we're at -3. I
Yep.
don't really know where to add that modifier though. So
You can put it in. Let's see. Is there any logical place to put it?
Conditions, active conditions, and you choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
no, that's extortion. That's different.
Yeah, extortion is different. Yeah.
I think you can just go and modify all your abilities by.
That's going to be kind of bothersome as well, though, because it counts for all his attack rolls. Blah blah blah. There should be somewhere else that you can just write it down. You can write it down in the description or something. I don't know.
I'll add it in notes. I
Yeah, or
guess.
notes. Yeah, notes.
It,
Just
it's
so that
affecting
you can
his
add it in
attack,
other in notes.
Is it not affecting his attack rolls?
It is,
Yeah.
but it's then he has to modify each attack roll. He has to modify all the other things
Or
that.
just say, think if you reduce his strength with -3, then everything would work because the strength is the what?
Yeah, but I think it. Hold on.
Like if you have +4, right, in strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
it's
just
all
set it
attack rolls,
to
saving
+4.
throws, and ability checks.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
more
just
than just the
remember
attack
it.
rolls.
Yes, and the stats are the main source of everything. So just put the stats -3. That's like just click just click 6 times and put in what the values are of the stats.
Yeah, but it has to do that for all stats, though.
Yeah, I'll just remember it. I have to.
Okay.
Well, I would have to change it after next long rest anyway. So yeah, won't
Yeah.
really be worst. Sorry.
Daytime.
Fuck. No.
Daytime.
We're surrounded.
No, we're not, Aaron. Relax. Just another day in the woods.
Yep. The weather is still nice, by the way, and the birds are chittering away as the morning sun approaches. So, of course, it has to, unless there are some other ways that you would like to feed yourself, you need to remove a ration each.
Will do.
Yeah.
I
You
can
have to
trade
take
some
one
food
from
if we...
Auron, though.
What did you say?
You have to remove one from Auron Press, because I can.
I can
I
do it
can trade
myself.
food if we want food
I don't eat
And
a rush
till
because
the last
I
day
have,
at least.
have a little much, maybe. So better to get rid of some of it.
I eat a ration as well. I can do it from. I can.
eat ration.
I
The
have
bag gets
my.
lighter.
I have my character sheet available. So
Nice.
Prosit.
Thank you.
I will just. I've already removed the ration, so.
They don't
Same.
want your food, Santash.
No. I don't. Magical food doesn't fill my stomach like old stale bread.
All stale
can
bread.
we can try the magical food when we run out of normal food, maybe sometimes.
Sure.
He's not crying.
I'm not disappointed.
But then you have, spot
I'm
to
not crying.
prepare
You're
spells
crying.
for another thing. It's good.
Yeah, preparing spells. Do you have anything to fight vampires, Santosh?
Yeah.
Like kill undead or
Yes, everything to fight vampires.
My
Maybe
life is to fight vampires.
protection or something from evil or whatever.
Yeah.
Any of that?
Oh, yeah, I have prepared that.
Oh,
Protection from good and evil?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Good and evil.
oh no, she's gonna protect herself from us. No.
Join the vampire.
Hey, yeah.
Wait, did I say that out loud?
Well,
Maybe.
I could probably maybe take Sanctuary.
And what does that do?
You ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature targets the warded creature with an attack or a harmful spell must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. So it
Oh, we have
could...
to read the
It's-
part about that the creature can't attack if you... So it's not...
It's best for protecting some.
And disease or something.
Yeah.
You're down people from getting insta killed. Because we're not gonna get downed, are we? Never mind, stupid of me.
We can use it on a. Yeah, you can use it on a person that's just downed, maybe.
Yeah,
Or it's possible to use it on, like, say, Suntouch after Suntouch has cast, like, say, Spirit Guardians. Because then he's not making active attacks, but he's still damaging everything he stands around.
That's true.
So there is you can
Blast
cheese
everything AoE and then we just move around.
Oh, I have another cool one. Vortex Warp.
Says
So
that
if
it needs to target the creature, doesn't it? So an AoE doesn't target a creature, so it still will hit the creature, or?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's an AoE now. Then the ward is useless.
Yeah.
Isn't Vortex Warp the band?
Is it?
I think so.
If it's from the what is that called again? The book?
Vortex
Strixhaven.
Warp? I don't know.
Strixhaven? Yeah.
It just shows up, so I don't know.
It's Strixhaven.
Yeah, if it's Strixhaven, it's banned.
Best
Because-
thing is you just go to the cat creation thingy and just turn off. Like at home, you can turn off content from
Yeah, you're gonna turn
Magic
off
the Gathering
Strixhaven.
content.
You
Yeah.
can
Then you
choose
turn
which books you can turn off, though, so it's a bit.
No, you can just turn off Magic the Gathering content.
Oh yeah, that you can turn off.
It's okay.
Then you don't get the spells or something from there.
Because Strixhaven
Should
is
be.
built for uber spells for low-level wizards and sorcerers and spellcasters in general.
I don't know. Maybe snare would help. No, never mind. I have prepared my spells.
Maybe no.
She's definitely gonna bring her dogs, right?
Probably yes.
And they're
You Kill
are they
dogs.
they are undead, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
They seem undead at least.
Fiends, maybe.
She made them from corpses, right? Well, we don't know that in
We
game.
don't
Maybe.
know that for
Oh,
certain,
yeah.
but we know that they can turn into dogs and they
Don't you have like turn undead or something since you're a cleric?
Yeah, I have turn undead. Don't you also have turn undead?
I don't think so. Do you get it on level 1? I have only one level 1
Ah.
cleric, so.
I think it's level 2.
You should know what you have, my man.
Yeah, your character.
That was a question to you, my man, since you're main cleric, my man.
Oh, man.
But you failed, my man, even though you're main cleric. Oh, shit.
I'm not level 1, my man. I'm level
Oh, my man, you was level 1, my man.
6.
That was so long ago. I don't remember
Yay.
Yeah. Turn
No, I
too
think
many
you
on
get
that.
turn
I haven't used it once, I think.
No, I don't think so either. Even though it was quite well built for the first dungeon that you were in.
Yeah, probably was from level 2. Yeah. Yeah. Most likely from level 2. Yeah. Pretty sure it was level 2.
Yeah, it's. I don't have it, so it has to be left from level 2.
Yeah, I knew it was level 2. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So we're lying now. Never mind.
No.
Yeah, and my spells is I have nothing special for fighting a vampire, so or should I prepare protect from good and evil? Is it good? That spell?
You're asking like on the character or just like us as
No,
players?
I'm asking Sontash. You have
No,
used that spell before, right?
What you should prepare for what?
Protect from good and evil. Is it nice? Is
Yeah.
it worthwhile? Is it concentration, right?
It's concentration, so it's a bit
Yeah, I think I will try to keep less up instead, I guess.
Yeah. It's a bit situational, but it could be good. Depends,
Yeah,
I guess.
I will either CC the enemy or bless us. It's like one of two things I do. I do nothing else.
Yeah.
You stand
But if-
around and claim that you're protecting us a lot, though.
Well, did you die? No, exactly.
Would
Uh,
actually that spell be really good?
What?
Protection from good and evil. Wouldn't that be really good in this situation?
Yeah, but it's a single target, so it's
Yeah, but
a bit situational. It can
And
protect people from
concentration.
being charmed and stuff, and it can help them. But it's if she's
Well-
smart, she can probably sense it, I guess.
It's better to have bless on everybody, so then everybody gets helps on their saving throws.
yeah,
And then
but
some
that's
person
one
can
person
put-
who has to have this, you know.
Exactly. So I'm telling the Sontash can prepare that spell, but I won't do it.
I have enough slots, so I can have it prepared together with some Bane and Fairy Fire and the normal healing stuff.
Yeah, I just hope that the stories of vampires are not real and with, you know, taking over people and make them do her bidding and stuff.
Yeah,
That's why I'm preparing to have bless on everybody, so we have chance to save from it.
I can also, well, would lesser restoration work
Against what?
against a charm?
No, I don't think so.
I
It should
can't.
say on the spell what it removes.
It's
No,
the
it
wording
doesn't
is so weird. It
first.
says
It doesn't work against
disease
charm.
or one condition. The condition can be, and it lists just 4 things.
Yeah, charm
What's
is
the
not a
4 things?
disease.
No, but it's a condition. But
Yeah.
never.
If
Yeah,
it's
but
not on
this-
that, it's not one of the things.
I think you need great
But,
restoration.
Sometimes storm rule ability is nice against a vampire. You can end 3 charms effect with that storm rule ability, right?
Frighten or madness. It's not charm.
Not charm? Oh,
No.
okay. I thought it was charm and fear.
I mean, protection from good and evil, it protects you from charm. And if you use it on somebody after their charm, it gives them advantage to the saving throws. So you can use it retroactively as well. But, yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
But doesn't it say willing creature?
That would be weird.
Or it's just, yeah, but Can you use
It
protect?
says one willing creature you touch, but
Yes. Would a charmed person be willing, if you're charmed, to kill the others?
it's weird though because it says later if the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature the target has. Because the
Yeah, but
I mean,
a charm-
if a person is charmed, but it's not.
but charm doesn't make it do all the decisions, does it? You still
Charm,
have
it depends.
maybe what,
It depends. It depends.
Depends on what order you get, I guess. If you only get to act natural and give me the spare money from the store after you are done for the day, then you're not doing something evil. You probably would say that all others are friendly. But you charm someone to kill the village. Then everyone is a villain, I guess.
I don't know.
I would like
Find
to
out, I
prepare
guess.
my spells as well. I'm done.
What about Langa?
I have a sword.
rope.
Yeah, I have my. There's my friend, and now he's gone. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're not possessed when you're charmed. You just can't attack the.
Okay.
Well, the most normal charm is you can't attack the guy who charmed you.
Yes. Well,
I guess it's more possession if you take fully control.
I think it's really kind of hard to come up with a plan, yet.
Yeah.
I think we should just travel in fast pace, just to get there as quick as possible, and see what kind of, help and how's the layout is there. I guess she's going to meet out. She said that she's going to meet us outside the city, didn't she? There's a kind
Yeah, on
of
the
uh,
fourth day.
there's a little forest beside the castle, so maybe it's around there, I guess. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But makes more sense because the all around all else is open fields. So
I mean, if this person is willing to help us, maybe we can do some elaborate tricks, because the vampire will most likely know who that person is. And
Well, yeah, depends on.
we could maybe feign death that person, to try to trick her into thinking he's dead, and then do this whole,
But would you know? Also, if you just tap that goat for blood and just try to give it to her, she'd probably think it's the right until she tastes it.
unless she
She's
smells
not
it. I don't.
omnipotent. She
Probably smell the difference.
Yeah, but you wouldn't tell before you get it in your hand, I guess.
I mean, she knows he's in that village somehow. I don't know how she does it.
Probably scrying.
That or she, yeah. Well, maybe the doggos are not that smart. I don't know. But either way, I think we would find out. You get there. So I think
I
it's
think
kind
as
of
well we should just move very quickly so we have more time to discuss there. Well,
Yeah,
let's
no,
say you, Tariel, discuss. Because I shouldn't be in the discussion with your father or grandfather, I think.
But if we need to prepare when we're there, we need to increase our pace so we can have one day to sleep while we're there or something.
If you could manage to get, if you could get there, so you have the whole day to set it up before, like if you get there the evening before you're going to meet
The
her
third
again.
day is over, or
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it should be done in the fourth day.
she's
meet
coming
her
in the evening of the fourth day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to have the whole day to prepare.
If you get there on the midday, and on the third day, that's the best. If you can manage to get there that fast.
Earlier midday I don't think we're gonna get there so fast, but depends.
Well, let's go.
Let's go.
I cast the Gift of Alacrity on myself, by the way.
Yep.
Keep it up while traveling.
How long does that thing work?
8 hours.
8 hours.
Ooh.
When I get a bit high level, I will cast it on all of you except Tariel, since she has it alone.
Guess it's
Just
halfway
burn.
full.
It burns so many slots if I get it on everybody. I will do it a bit later if I get more powerful.
Hmm.
If you survive the night against the vampire.
It's gonna be 30 days of night.
Yeah, we should be able to get there in 2 days if we go fast.
Gotta go
That's
fast.
all.
Gotta go
Very
fast.
But by the way,
You-
is there some wildlife in these woods? Should we be on the look for bears and stuff? Oh, well, I guess we will just run.
We ran for it.
Run, and I run fast into the bear if it's a bear there. You just like hi and bye.
Hi and
I
bye.
wouldn't
like-
speak to the bear, but yeah, sure. But yeah, let's pick up the pace then and try
Yeah,
and.
let's go speed mode.
Oh Jesus Christ!
We should have a dragon on Griffin because
Did you know we have superpower?
Oh shit!
It's
But,
like Dragon Ball Z fighting.
but yeah, of course, you're allowed to pick up the pace so that you'll try to reach the village in 2 days' time instead of 3. So you're allowed to do that, of course. The only thing that I would like one of you to do, the person that is supposed to lead, is I need to check again because I forgot. Is the leading person to roll a nature?
Is it possible to help the guy?
Yeah,
leading?
of course. Yeah, if you're proficient. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I'm leading since I know this parts better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
cast guidance on Tariel. Guidance.
Yeah, because it's just to ensure that you're keeping the party on the right track, that sort of thing, the entire time.
A nature
Yes,
with advantage.
with advantage from Chad as well, actually.
Oh,
And guidance.
So we get like 3
Triple?
dice.
Yeah. It doesn't
And
stack, I'm
D4?
afraid.
oh, I don't have any pluses, so just 17.
plus.
17. You fear.
Thank you, Kat.
You feel fairly certain that if you just continue on the way and keep your head on straight, so that you actually ensure that this is sort of the way that you're traveling the entire time, you would be able to get there in about 2 days' time, because you can see that at least so far in front of you, the terrain and the trees, the nature itself isn't as so hostile that it would like slow you down in a particular way. Of course, traveling on the main road would be easier, but this is almost as comforting as it can be, considering that you're traveling in the woods instead of the main road. And when it comes to the wildlife, the small things that you can see, at least for now, are squirrels, birds, small types of animals that wouldn't be of any danger to you at all.
And I have to say that in about 4 hours time, we're going to see. Wait, I have to check what it's called again. You're going to see Cragmore Castle on the left side.
You're the tour guide now.
That's a castle.
Yeah.
Go.
Come to think of it, Camelot is a silly place.
Yes. You don't have time to be there.
Why is it? Are you a gym bro now? What the fuck is going on? There's so much broing.
Bro.
Yeah. Everything is bro.
Step bro.
But yeah, to make this sort of a smooth sailing when it comes to how much time we spend on it, the travel throughout the entire day is going by with nice, clean weather, dry weather that doesn't make you soak. And also there is, oh boy, there is also not any type of wildlife that you encounter throughout the entire day that poses any threat to you.
Nothing.
Nothing.
See, I'm a good guide. Oh yeah.
So of course, you're allowed to, if you want to, push on, because now this is considering that nighttime has come around, because we're trying to make this not drag out for too long. And you're allowed to, Jesus Christ, you're allowed to decide if you want to push on, like through the effects of you might getting exhaustion, or if you want to like buckle in for the night and continue with the same sort of pace and the same sort of vigor tomorrow.
Taking into account that someone has just stand up from the dead, maybe we should, rest for the night.
How are you feeling?
I think I can push on, but it's up to you guys.
I wouldn't mind letting you rest.
Could your echo carry you?
No.
That would be nice.
Bad echo.
Well, we should let him rest, even though
Yeah.
he can move on.
Yeah, I can see it on his eyes. He can't move 1 centimeter more.
Yeah, it's cool and all that you try to act tough, Langa, but we care about you, so you need to sleep.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
My own legs are super tired. That's why I said it.
Yeah. I'm looking down at Aaron's leg shaking. I'm like, yeah, I could use the rest, I guess.
My legs are not shaking.
They're shivering.
They're already on the ground.
They're all crammed up.
I'm sitting on my ass.
Yeah, they're not shaking.
I'll try to assist Santosh again if he's looking for a camp.
Yeah, survival then.
Camping. Yeah, I
Oh
don't need
wow!
the second one.
Ooh. You find a mansion hidden away. No.
Whoa.
You find easy enough. You find a very good spot again that, of course, seems dry considering that it hasn't been raining the entire time that you have been traveling so far, at least. So you find a perfect spot in between some small bushes, not a clear-cut opening this time around either. So you could imagine that when you get the hut up and running, you would be greatly in hiding as well, considering that you would just look part of the forest.
Then it's just to put up the hut, and I'll take the first watch again.
Yeah, and stay inside the hut.
Hut up.
And Langa,
Hut up.
if you wake up, don't go outside alone.
Er,
I have a feeling you're gonna hear this every night.
he's kind of wrong though. The problem is not being alone; it's being around the wrong people. So.
And
Yeah.
night.
He doesn't listen, like at all.
No, I don't at all now.
But yeah, of course you can, if you want to, you can press the long rest button again, and you can remove one more minus.
What if it's not the same as exhaustion? What disabilities does he have now? Is it just 1 to all stats?
No, two.
-2.
Two.
No,
two.
but like each point is 1 point in stats, or
No, all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
So it's
Okay.
-4 in stats.
okay.
You wanna calculate?
I need to make some food. BB.
Huh?
It's making food again.
Can we don't need your magical pool yet.
No, he's making real life food.
Because of course, as you wake up to the morning sun once again, the weather is just as nice as it was the prior night. So you can start by removing a ration, unless you're getting fed in some other way, shape, or form.
Remove the ration.
I ate the Russian.
Nice.
Noise.
More stale bread. Yeah. So are we close, Tariel?
We have traveled for 1 day, so we should be there in the evening, I guess.
Maybe if you press
Maybe.
on.
Yeah, we should keep up the pace, I guess.
I slap my thigh and say, let's get these bad boys to work, and I start to move. I don't know if it's the right direction. I start to move. Just walk.
I just have to say, it's you guys are going quite fast. I'm struggling to keep up. Just
You're
no, but
struggling.
I won't say anything. I won't say anything. So just keep it up. I just said something, but I won't say anymore. I hate this. No, I'm okay with this. I meant to say.
You want me
It's
to
very
help
good at
you, or
If you were healthy longer, I would sit on your shoulder. But I can see that you're struggling more than me. So
okay?
It's like a fun cotton test.
So, as you're pushing through this day, it takes about 10 minutes or so before you push out of the forest itself. And that's not because you're like clashing with the main road. It's because the forest just stops. You come to open fields instead. So Tariel notices now that yes, she was correct in the fact that you would probably get there by late evening, if you decided to like push through. Because now you're in the open fields leading towards Fandalin and the surrounding places of Fandalin itself. So you should be somewhat close now. Is there anything that you would like to talk about, by the way, on your way there, or you felt like you said all that you needed to?
It's kind of fun though, because we can talk as much as we want, but Oren can't because he's trying to keep up with us.
I can still listen.
Yeah, and you can see him rushing for his inhaler.
So, are there like fields around, or what do you guys really do in this village? Or
Well, we have a lot of fields, yes, but it's mainly mining town. That's how we, got rich, I guess.
so you have like a few good smiths then as well.
We have a smith, yeah.
Nice.
We have. So should be. I don't know well, I haven't been there for a 1.5 year. Yes.
Time flies by when you travel.
Yeah. So last time I was there, we have a little market, but it's mostly thing that the villagers needs. But we have a blacksmith. We have this is a noble house there. We have soldiers and not many, but some. So we have a blacksmith.
Oh.
More I think about it, I kind of get the feeling that maybe the vampire is referring to someone else. A feeling, because it's kind of like more like an uncle of mine, or it's not in family, but kind of. I've been there so long, and he's really good-hearted. So maybe she's actually referring to him. He's an old guy too, so
Oh, family is family. We don't want to kill him either, do we?
Nope. He's a really good person. He's like, what do you say?
It's a saint.
Yeah, I just have to ask the DM.
Yeah.
The things that we talk about, I know all the stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
So all I know is he used to live in Neverwinter a long time ago, and he tried to get like tax reforms into the city that instead of it was a a certain percentage, it was actually set into what you actually earned. So as poor people paid less tax than people that had more money, so you can actually afford to live there as well. But he met a lot of resistance, I guess. But with my father, they have made a lot of welfare for the villagers that need it. So some of them actually get like free help with doctors and stuff because they don't have money, and they have lower taxes on the people that really needs to have a little bit more.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah, he really wants good. To do good. He's not a fighter. He's more. What should you call it? I think he's a cleric, actually, but he's
Man.
So it's like a forced communal goodwill, kind of. I guess that works.
Yeah, he's always been working more about communities and like what's it called again? Styre, kind of in boards and stuff in
Council.
cities, I guess, councils, and try to help and do good there. To be
Sounds like a good guy.
Yeah, I think she's more. She probably is after him, I guess. In the village, he's the one. What's it called? He controls all the money, I guess. He's
Treasure.
the treasurer of the city.
Unless he has a few skeletons in his closet.
I kind of doubt it, but you never know. That's true, but I don't think he would be this close to our family if you had a suspicion that he had done something evil, I guess.
Oh.
I think you should. When you meet him, you will have the same. What's it called? Perspective
Opinion.
as me of him, or opinion.
We shall see. Good. No, I almost called you sir, but ma'am. But yeah, it sounds like we're kind of locked in what we want to do then.
Yes, well, I don't know. Well, I appreciate that you guys kind of want to stand by this. I can understand if you don't want to take this fight, but I'm gonna fight it anyway because it's my family. I have to,
Don't have a choice, to be honest, to take this fight or not to take this fight. We will die unless we do it. So
Yeah, I can't really flee from those guys, I think.
I don't think so either.
Well, if the person in question were just lying around dead by the time we're there, I might change my opinion because that would be really practical and easy. But yeah, that would be too random. Anyway.
I just nod, agreeing with Lang.
So if you had an easy way out,
then
Yeah,
of course.
it would be okay.
If
But-
he was already dead.
Yeah, but if you think about the ramification, if you think about it, if it's true that she can walk around in the broad daylight, A vampire. Vampire.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Powers.
what if she
Go
has
around
other people
in
doing
daylight.
this as well?
The thing is, you don't. Well, you say it's not that many soldiers there, and yeah, she just seems quite powerful. To be honest, I'm actually afraid. So yeah.
We can't let this abomination live.
See,
Okay.
he gets it. He gets it. Probably
Yeah.
if Orin could talk, but he's too out of breath to talk. He would probably agree with us.
They just intimidate us long out there. They're not as powerful as you think.
I'm looking back at Orin to check if he's nodding or not.
As Sontosh says that, I write it in my journal. Need
You
to
write
follow
in your
check
journal.
this up when we meet her again.
You're gonna walk like this, writing.
Yeah.
How do you manage to walk faster than me while you're writing? Incredible stuff, my guy. Incredible.
I-
Can you guys please slow down? I'm sore in my buttocks.
You're almost catching up. It's okay, but yeah. Fuck.
But this,
I'll agree that we need to defeat her, but I don't agree that she's less powerful than I think. I got a real bad vibe from that woman.
Yeah,
But
she's probably powerful, I guess. But if you think about, we are the reason to that powerful being can go around in the daylight as well and wreak havoc. I don't want to be part of that.
that's.
Yeah, you should sacrifice yourself, Langa, for the greater good.
I don't think that would help
For
anyone.
more of them,
I
charge!
think he's hallucinating. Fuck.
Is he
Maybe
delusional?
we
Yeah.
It's the fight here! It's the fight here!
Yeah, I think he's having a stroke again. Fuck.
Stroke.
Maybe
Maybe we should slow. Yeah, we should slow down. We're almost there,
I'll just
right?
keep it up.
he's having a
do
stroke again.
you guys have some water in your water skin? I'm empty in mine.
I got
Fine.
something that might motivate you more.
Yeah, what is it? Is it beer?
It is.
No, it's good. Good.
I've heard that bear doesn't help that much against,
He's
This
a
is what
dwarf,
I-
you know. I think
Let
he'll
him
be-
believe that.
I'll
Getting tricked
take out
by
the rest of
spells?
my 6-liter keg of beer, which I think there's like 4 liters left of.
You should just run in front of him with a
Yeah,
keg. So, like,
That's what I'm doing. I'm like calling it to.
Oh, wait.
give me beer.
I will cast Mage Hand and grab it.
Grab the keg.
Oh, I guess
I
the
don't-
keg is too heavy.
Yeah, the keg is too heavy, I'm afraid.
It's at least 5 kilograms. So yeah. I'm holding it for you. It's okay.
Oh, let me drink a bit then. Stop.
Oh, fuck yeah! Stop.
I take a big swig.
You see,
Okay, let's
The
head
o-
on.
the other ones who like turn their heads as you're still moving through the open fields with quite a rapid pace. You see Langa standing there burly, and this big man looks like he is almost like feeding honey to his child or something like that, as he sort of leans the keg over so that Oren can take like a big swig out of it. But Oren is standing and Langa is still pushing his back a bit forward so that he can ensure that most of it goes into Oren's wide open mouth.
That's a sight to see. That sounds
good.
pretty funny.
But once again, you pick up the pace. Oren,
When we arrive at the city, can we have a 10-minute break or something?
10 minutes?
Or 5, I think. Works.
We can just slow down the pace as we approach.
I think we're talking IRL.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so I don't think the pacing will affect it in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, of course. So
Thank
you're-
you.
as you're heading through the open fields, day becomes late day. You can see that the sun is on its way down. I think I'm hearing myself from someone. Hello.
Your own mind.
Hoi! Not anymore. Never mind. Becomes late day and slowly becomes evening. And throughout the later parts of the evening, the weather also changes from being this dry and nice weather to travel in to still be nice weather to travel in, but you can feel drips on your heads from time to time now. So rain seems to be on the way as it becomes more clouded above as well, with grayish looking clouds. But as the evening approaches as well, into the very corners, I guess the easiest way here is to just throw you over to the map as well, because this map is quite detailed when it comes to how things look around the entire place. So it's quite easy for you to see what the map looks like in the 3D environment instead of having me having to explain almost anything at all because of how this map looks. So let me just push you over after I've
Can I see every single rock?
every single rock.
Every single rock?
If you want to move around the camera so much, sure.
Yeah, I think you actually might be able to. Yeah, if you want to move the camera like Crooked
Quite
said. Yeah, this is quite detailed indeed. Boom. It's going to be evening, so I'm going to push camera or the thingy to here. There we go. Because this is one big ass map.
Oh yeah,
That is right.
it's quite big.
Yes.
Can't even see the cost from here because of the it's not taking everything in. Should make a little shout out, I guess, to the ones that actually made the board.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. So
Sergeant Red Spade. We made it on Talespire.
yeah,
That's all I know. So only thing I did on this map is I fixed the castle. That's all.
yeah, and all I did was put tokens into it.
So Talespire is awesome.
So because this is of course Fondalin, as it is in one of the pre-made campaigns in Dungeons and Dragons. So that's what has been used as the layout for the map. But if you wanted a 10-minute break or so, you can do that now.
Yeah.
Be quick or be dead.
Quick 10 minutes.
Yeah. Make it a quick 10, not a slow 10, and we'll be there.
Yes. Yeah, that means you have to use those 10 minutes well. All from toilet to food to a wank to sleep, whatever.
Oh shit. I'll push over to the webcam as well. To my own webcam.
Ellich is ready to sleep, I see.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, I'm
Nellish.
tired. Yes.
Can't you spend a bit of this time, just because I'm curious myself, explaining what it is you do these days when you're, and how the competition works?
You mean ERL?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. We are sailing against other people, I guess.
Yeah, I
Not against the dolphins?
yeah, I wasn't.
Not against the dolphins?
Yeah, you're not sailing against dolphins, no. That will be fun, though. Well, it's we are
Have
on
you
the
met
first
Poseidon
day.
yet?
No, we haven't seen
Aw.
Poseidon either. But yeah, it was the first race day today. We had 3 races. We are supposed to have 3 races, but we we destroyed our sail in race 2, so we had to cancel race 3.
What? Really?
Yeah, but there are people working on it now, so it should be fixed.
Yeah, but what does that
for
mean? What does that mean, like point-wise?
for
whatever. Yeah, for
for
placement.
points?
Yeah, for placement.
Well, I guess we got did not finish in race 3, meaning we get last place and some
Okay.
extra bad points, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
But this was the first day, and yeah, a lot of things went wrong.
How many days are there?
So it's 4 race days, so three left. The last race day is on Saturday.
Saturday. So it's almost consecutive days then? Or is it consecutive days?
Yes.
Oh shit. Sounds tiring.
Yeah, it's like 3 races on one day with a small break in between.
Yeah, each race.
I guess. Yeah, between each race, and one race is like 1 hour, and yeah, it depends a little bit, but 1.5 hour maybe, or like 50. I don't remember that. Maybe no, it's like 1 hour-ish. Yeah, 54 minutes. I remember. Everything is like tracked. All the boats has like tracking devices, so you can like follow it live. Also look at the races on replay. If you download Track on the Google Play, if you want to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Swan World is the event.
Huh.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of wind today. The Swedish boat they destroyed their mast, so they won't be sailing anymore. So that's kind of sad for them.
So they are just out
Yeah, I
of the
think they
entire thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Very good.
I think they are in fact heading back already.
That sounds brutal.
Some gaffateip.
Yeah. That sounds brutal though,
Uh,
because you're probably practicing for this for a long time, I would imagine.
Yes, it's the biggest thing this year
Yeah.
for this class. Yeah, so it's
So
it's
everything
sad.
gets like fucked up and destroyed for the first day. That sounds quite depressing.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yes.
For them.
Yeah.
Good for you though, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's just we want as many boats on the water as possible for the compensation sake, I guess.
Yeah. It sort of makes sense. Yeah, it's not cool. Let's say that there's 10 places in total. It's not cool coming 9th if the 10th place came 10th because their entire ship was destroyed, or not ship but boat was destroyed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it was other boats had also some problems today, so.
So it was a difficult day for lots of people. To win. Maybe.
Yeah, it was the wind. The wind went up a bit in the end of the day, and we had, in fact, not taking all. We hadn't brought the sails for that wind with us in the boat, so we couldn't sail. Also, because of that, also because if you had the backup sails, we could have just sailed the last race.
Oh.
With the different set of sails, because we have like. We have 3 different spinnackers and 3 different.
3 different what?
It's kites. It's like a flying big sail in front of the boat for downwind.
Okay.
And we only brought 2. So if you had brought all 3, we could have sailed the last race. We also didn't bring all of the 4 sails. So. Like we have one heavy that we didn't bring. That's like for this wind range that we experienced in the last day, last race. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that there was different sails. That's how much into this I am.
Yeah, but it makes sense, right? The different sails for different.
Yeah. It makes complete sense. It's just that I've never thought about it before. I just seen something with a color that almost masks the entire boat from top to bottom, and that's sort of it.
Yeah,
When
I
it
think I
comes,
asked my one of the crew members how much, like if you want to get a full set of sails for the boat, what it costs, and he said like 2 million crowns.
2 million?
Yes.
Holy
So it's
shit!
quite expensive to have all the sails you need to sail this boat optimal.
Yeah, that sounds insane.
So
Yeah, but it's not. I
Yeah.
guess it's not known as being a cheap hobby, considering that you
No.
like at the very least you need a boat, and a boat is not a cheap investment in of itself, I guess. So
Yeah, that kind of sailing like we're doing is quite expensive, but of course you can start sailing when you're a kid and start sailing Optimist and stuff like that, and then it's much more affordable.
yeah, I guess.
Then
Sailing
again,
in
you're a kid with no income, so
What we are doing is quite expensive, but of course you have American Cup and stuff, and then there's like almost no limit on the money. It's just you get like some kind of border that you have to like be inside when you design the boat, and you can just throw money at it as much as you want. So
Upgrade.
Yeah.
have you seen one of the latest American Cups? The foiling boats that flies on the water.
Flies.
Yeah, they get up to speed of 80 kilometers on the water.
Holy shit.
Back now, by the way.
Oh yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, I was just curious. That was why. So
Yeah, it's
because of course it's something that's very far away from my like knowledge area. So I think that it's fun to get to know hobbies of other people as well. Or not hobbies necessarily. I guess it's something bigger than just a hobby.
it's a lifestyle.
yeah, it's a
considering that-
lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are potential like money or something involved, I would imagine, or
Yeah, it's definitely not necessarily money. You don't get like a pot of money, but you get like very good gifts or prizes, I guess. The Rolex is, for instance, sponsoring the event.
yeah.
If you heard about Rolex, the
Vampire.
clock-making company.
Yeah. Of course. Known for
That's
making
something new.
cheap clocks, so
Must be a new firm.
yeah, must be a new
Only
firm.
heard of Romex. They sell them like
Romex?
on the streets. 5 to 10 euros. Very good.
Very
Yeah.
good quality, yes.
And it has a calculator.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's a very hard competition, and a lot of very good sailors are sailing. So
Yeah, also makes sense since it's the World Cup. So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to sail against the best sailors.
yeah, who would have thought, right?
That's weird.
Dennis, you are the best sailor.
Well, I don't think so, but thank you for that nice.
I've
Yeah.
seen you in the uniform. You're the best
Yeah.
sailor.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You're the best sailor I know by far.
should we get
Thanks.
back into the D&D of things?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, break over, wet fart on the way. Nice. Here we go.
Wet
back.
fart?
Yeah, I have a wet fart soundboard. So
Oh, I thought you almost pooped yourself.
No.
Yeah, like what?
I was also like, what? It's over?
yeah. So, like I said, on this map, I don't need to particularly talk about too much because what you see is sort of what you get down to, at least almost a T. So, but as you head into the village itself, though, the thing that you can see on the map as well is that there is no big walls protecting the village itself. So the only thing that you encounter at the foot of the village entrance are two guards dressed in chain shirts and long iron boots with a spear in their hand each. It's one on each side of the main road leading into the village, and the one on to you it will be the eastern side. Oh, I think it's Nelish that I'm hearing myself from.
Are you hearing myself?
Yeah, I'm no, I'm hearing myself. Hello. Or something.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, because as I was talking there, I could see your thing activate the entire time. But yeah.
That's sad, if that's the case.
That's sad if that's the case. And it just sits there.
You're not tired, are you?
Not at all.
Okay, I think.
The guard to the east takes 2 steps onto the main road and tells you to halt and to stop, sort of dead in your tracks, as he leans his arm forward. Like this.
Pulled my hood back and kind of, shows the signet on the breast.
You can see that the other guard from the western side now also takes steps onto the main road. And the one on the right, a human-looking man, in his mid-30s or something like that, at least from his face, says that you're back?
Indeed, I am.
And with companions, or what are
Yeah.
the strange company?
Long story, but yeah, it's my traveling companions, or yeah.
What is it that you want here, Tariel? We thought you left.
Yeah, I have some business back at the castle, I guess.
Yeah,
So just go out.
of course we won't stand in your way. I'm sorry, by the way, and you can see that he bows.
Sorry.
Yeah,
What?
for commanding you to stop. That is not something. I wouldn't have done that if I knew it was you. Okay.
It's okay. When I walk past, I just pat him on the shoulder, and then it's okay.
I think you're. If it's your father that you wish to talk to, I think he's up at the castle. Yeah.
Yeah, I should be at this hour, I guess.
I would think so. So good to see you back, Tariel.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
And he
What's his
bows
name?
once again.
What did you say?
What's his name, Tariel?
I'm not gonna answer that because it's just yeah. Tom. His name is Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Tom and Tom, the guards.
Yes,
I was about to name him Raphael, but he is Tom. No.
Yes, Tom. And
Yeah.
the other one is Tom. And when you have all the guards lined up, it's Tom.
Oh, okay. It's Tom on everyone. Oh,
Oh no.
it's Tom.
Tom.
Yeah,
The
but
first one is Tom, and then the second one is Tom, and the third one is Tom.
You're of course allowed to move through.
Yeah, I think we should.
No.
Okay. I guess we're just gonna, head up towards the
Keep
castle.
running.
It's that away.
As I walk past the guard that said sorry, I just hit my chest and say, I'm with her, okay? I'm with her, and just continue walking.
You can see that he just tosses you like a weird look. He doesn't he's sort of dumbfounded. You can see that he is, so he doesn't come up with a response. He just looks at you like weirdly.
I just laugh, visibly almost.
I turn around while I walk and just like.
As you're heading into like more the main village itself and the city or the village center, the few people that you pass on the way up there, you can see that they're sort of like mixed into their own conversation. But once they like look at your party, they sort of take one look and then another one, like quite quickly again, and you can hear that they're like muttering like, "She's back."
Jesus.
You can move into the village center and stuff like that if you want to. This is not a place that you have to necessarily like move slowly if you don't want to. You can like teleport places, that sort of thing, if you want to.
I think more centers around.
Teleport
here.
gained. I want to be inside the castle at the 3rd floor now.
Not into the buildings.
Teleport into the treasury, please.
I said not into the buildings.
Careful what you give us. Power.
They have a treasury.
I
that's
said
its
not
own
into the
building.
buildings.
Treasury is
I said not into the buildings.
But the buildings were made of
I said
trees.
not into the buildings.
So, as you can see, well, I don't know where you guys are now. Oh, over there. This is the market, you know. It's kind of obvious, but and I guess the inn is in the building beside us.
And as you can see, the market is, as Tariel said, it's laced with food and carpets, beds, bed rollings, that sort of thing. The thing that a villager would need to make it day by day.
Yeah. And if you want to check out the blacksmith tomorrow, I guess it's over here. Manga.
Yeah.
But close now. But yeah. I think we're just gonna head on to the castle. We can look more here tomorrow, I guess.
Once again, the only thing that you sort of notice is that people seem to be surprised. Guards and commoners alike seem to be surprised about the fact that they can see Tariel Kendal once again walking inside the center and the heart of Fandalin.
I think I maybe should say goodbye to more people before I left, maybe.
What is Oren trying to open? Where the fuck is he?
I want to be here.
Where is he even?
At the tavern, trying to open the door.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey! Stop fucking over Oren's character.
I have no control of myself.
Yeah, I know.
Possessed by the vampire.
Yeah, that's why I sort of said no to the opening of the thing.
Where are you guys? Where did you go? I don't see you.
At the castle over here.
He was too busy making jokes, so he couldn't even.
Castle. Let me see if I can find the castle.
Over here.
I can't see it. The map is so huge. Oh, there.
Yeah, this map is
like-
big.
Yeah, it's big.
1/10 of the map is. I can see your circle. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Now we
Oh,
have
so
to find
awkward.
Oren again.
Nah, he's up there.
Oh yeah, nice.
I don't know who controls him, but he's got full control. Perfect every time.
Every time.
Well, I can see that they are already outside, so
Yeah, when you come,
Remember-
the thing is, if I can just interject for 2 seconds. When you come up to the castle grounds, you can see that there are people on the outside, guards, and also some people clad in noble clothes. 3 of them, 2 males and a female, and they seem to be discussing something in between themselves and the guards as well. The castle itself, as you can tell, it looks very well kept and very, very good looking compared to, because when you were walking through the entire village, you saw that some of the houses were pretty run down. Some of them couldn't even be lived in, but it seems like they're slowly trying to rebuild those as well. From what you could tell, at least by just walking past, you can see that new wood was intertwined between old wooden pieces and the boards that were sort of cut off to try to replace themselves and stuff like that. So it seems like the leaders of the village do care about those places as well. It's just that it takes a bit of time, of course. Carpenters would know. Isn't there carpenters in the party, if I remember correctly? Or was that the previous campaign?
I kind of.
I'm
Can't
a carpenter.
I
can
know
half the
wood
party
carving.
be carpenters.
Of course, the entire castle is clad in solid black or grayish stone. and seems, like I said, to be very, very well kept. You get a sort of a majestic feeling just by looking at the castle from a distance now on the castle grounds itself. But go ahead, Tariel.
Yeah, just keep in mind, be respectful. This is going to be awkward enough for me, I guess. So
Will do my best,
I
ma'am.
look at Oran.
if in doubt, just shut up. You can say something? Tash?
What?
Oh, you just seemed like you had something to say. Oh well, I just go up and I guess I just say out loud, hello.
You can see that the guards are the ones that are tossing you the looks first, because the other, some of the other people, the noble people, are sort of have your back turned towards you, and you can hear that sort of rich and full voice says "What?" with almost almost an angered outburst. As you can see him turning, you can see that this is a man that is clad in noble clothes of both white and red, almost like a white shirt with a reddish sort of vest on the outside. He has a red beard, but a very well-kept beard with like a mustache as well, and has also red-looking hair that is showing its age in some of the places because it's laced in with white stripes every now and then. But you can see that his face also turns quite fast from being angered to being quite surprised. Oh,
Well, that's a good response.
you can hear that the lady next to him, which you haven't, I think, described to me how it looks, so you can do it if you have some sort of specifics in mind. That is, Tariel.
Haven't really actually thought much about that, but I guess she has blonde hair, and she's quite good looking, and blue eyes.
Oh, blue eyes.
No,
Nice.
oh, I described you, didn't I? Oh, without the beard.
You can hear
for
that.
the viewers' sake, you should see Dungeon Master when he had long blonde hair and beard.
Some viewers know that, actually. You can hear that it's the woman that turns around. When she turns around, is the one that outbursts first, like, daughter! And comes closer quite quickly. And so does this other noble person that was just described. You're here again, he says. I can do this now.
Yes, I am back.
I thought I would never see you again after our last conversation.
No, I kind of don't remember. I don't think you maybe was in the state to remember that, but I said I'm going to be back. Well, I'm back sooner than I thought I would be, I would say. My plan wasn't to get back before I found Kalvar, but yeah,
you can see that the expression on his face also, like, bears a heavy sign as soon as you mention the name of your brother.
I go up to him, I guess, and yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, by the way. Where are my manners? Of course. And he stretches out both of his arms to the side to like try to indicate that he wants to embrace you in a hug.
Well, I didn't expect this one. Yes, I go in for a hug, I guess.
Yeah.
And after I go to my mother and does the same.
Yeah, you can feel that there's a difference in between the two. Where your father sort of wants the embrace to be warm and welcoming, you still feel a bit of coldness in between the two of you. But from your mother, she just seems happy to see you. So that is a very warm and loving embrace. But from your father, there seems to be something that is still sort of distant. Or distant.
Yeah. Figures. Yeah, by the way, this is... not... Oh! Artanis. Hello.
Yeah. Welcome back. I didn't see that it was you. This is a man that is also clad in noble's clothes. He is carrying a book under his arm, as his token is. He's clad in black clothes with red resting or red shoulders from like a cape that goes around on the backside that only goes to like down here-ish. His hair is not as long as on this thing. It is quite short, only going around to his ears, sort of, and it's completely gray. So this looks like quite the old man. His age is showing even more than the father of Tariel, because this is completely gray, not just laced with gray every once in a while, or gray and white. I didn't see that it was you. Welcome back, and you can see that he bows down. He sort of takes his books to his chest and then bows down.
Thank you. I bow to back.
You brought friends, I see, or are these friends?
Yeah, these made some friends on my travels.
Quite the odd-looking company, if you don't mind me saying so.
Can we hear all this?
Of course.
Yes.
When he says friends, I reach my hand up and like wave awkwardly.
And you're supposed to, damn it, you look normal. Fuck.
You can see that he just tosses a weird look back, and he doesn't like wave back or anything like that. He just bows his head or a slight amount forward, because of course the person talking and doing the gestures and everything now is the one that I hold the circle over.
Okay.
There are. Without them, I don't think I actually would have been here right now. So they're good company.
Been here how? What are you talking about? Have you?
Well,
did you end up going the same path as your?
No. Nothing like that. Just we have met some, what's it called, dangers on the road, I guess. And by the help of these fine lads, we have managed to overcome them.
So you are a fully fledged warrior now, not a respectable politician or council member or anything of that sort.
I would prefer to see myself as a warrior. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I haven't forgotten where I'm from. So.
No, I would hope not. No, but you can see that I sort of glances towards the ground and then back at you. So what is it that brings you here?
Well, it kind of. I think we should, talk inside maybe.
We can. If you, if these aren't friends that you met yesterday, I would invite them into the castle.
Oh, I didn't meet them yesterday. No, I've been traveling with them for a while now.
Okay.
By the way, you can introduce yourself, I guess.
When Arthas returns to Lordaeron, to meet his father in the castle.
Hey. This is not going that way. Jesus.
I take my hand down from waving, since I said I started waving. And says, hello, I'm.
He sort of just nods back at you.
I'll just bow deeply. Langa Hamason.
Welcome.
Sontosh.
Welcome to you as well.
I spin my shield around and kneel in front of the man. And I wait a bit for a little pause to make effect. And I say, I'm Oren Newgate. Nice to meet you.
Okay,
It's not like the dwarves
Oren.
from. Yeah. He's not like the other dwarves.
Apparently not. But yeah, you are You can come into the castle. You're invited in, I guess.
I give Orna a stern look before I go.
I as we walk, I turn around to say to Oren, "That was magnificent."
I'm going to make it easy for myself, just because moving multiple characters in Talespire is quite the task. I'm going to make it easy and teleporting them. Because as you're heading into the castle, they're leading you towards a dining area that is on the north side of the castle. That seems to almost be always prepared for visitors. It's over here, and you need to drag the green button down to so that you can see all of the stuff in the room, because there's of course multiple floors and everything inside of this. As you're heading into the castle, though, this is something that also Tariel, or Crooked Cow, I guess, knows. But you can the first thing that you see when you open the doors, or you don't open the doors, when the doors are opened to the castle, are more nobles clad in noble clothing, talking to one another, and they just seem to be busy talking about eventual taxes and what the taxes should be in the village for this and this said class. But there are also, as you can see through the darkness, because of the lighting and everything, and of course a lot of you also have dark vision, but there are 4, what did you call them? Banners. That are from left to right is...
Neverwinter. And then it's the family crest.
Yep.
Yeah, I've told you earlier. And then it's crest for what's called it's from the dwarfs. I just have to find the city because I don't remember always what it's called. So I think maybe our dwarf in the party, maybe it looks like a typical dwarven emblem. I guess Axholm is called.
Axholm.
And the last one is from the gnomes of Gnomengard.
Yep. So that is sort of what greets you as you head into the castle, and they are always leading you, of course, never taking an eye off you. Hence, why you still end up in the dining room, unless, of course, you want to try to kill people here and go whatever you want to go, of course.
Don't give them ideas.
Let me see. At 20, I'll go on a killing rampage. Well.
I wasn't
Almost.
too far away. But father sits here, mother sits here, Arctanis sits here. So you can sit wherever you want to, sort of. He is sort of he's sort of guiding Tariel, though, to sit quite close by in one of the first seats.
Yeah, I'll sit there. It's better for me to see them than sit beside them, I guess.
Yeah.
Right now.
So
I want to sit on the opposite side of Santash to look into his eyes.
opposite side of Santash, so over here.
That's far to look into my eyes, man.
So what is this that you wish to discuss, daughter? I'm still keeping the circle around, by the way, so that you'll always know who is talking.
Well, we were actually on the way to Waterdeep when we encountered some problems, bad news, I guess. To take it from the start, just make it a little bit more context, I guess. I don't remember how long this is ago now, when we were at our island, when we helped that orc village. We helped our orc village with cursed object, I guess you can call it.
You helped orcs?
Well, it was the village of Hedi, one of the 7, so it's not like bad orcs.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And when we helped her, we got rid of this curse that plagued her village, I guess. And my friend here, yeah, that one, eccentric one, kind of
Wave
got.
again.
You can put your hand down now. Got maybe not cursed, but you got marked by an evil.
By the orcs?
No, by a vampire.
How are you certain about this?
Because on our way here, they kind of forced us to visit them, and they
Them?
or her. She had 2 servants that kind of guided us, I guess. And they seemed quite powerful. So we didn't felt that we couldn't take the fight.
But when you say powerful, what do you mean by powerful? Did they show any sign of power, or did they proclaim to be powerful?
Both.
Kind of both. They managed to. I don't know what they did, but they just touched Oren here on the head, and he just kind of. I don't
I
know.
got paralyzed, sir.
Yeah,
Sir.
just
Sorry, madam. I got paralyzed.
he couldn't do anything, and we couldn't contact him or anything. So
Well, that's scary, but we didn't even see the animal or the person move. It was just blink, and then it was in his face.
yeah, that's also true. But anyway, when we got to meet this vampire, she was quite upset that we had broken this cursed item in that village. And she was looking for a way. I don't know if this is possible, but she was looking for a way to be able to walk in daylight.
A vampire walk in daylight.
Yes, and she proclaimed that the thing she needed was the blood of a really, really pure soul. And she meant that the leader of this village, our village, was on the deathbed. I don't think any of here is on the deathbed, so I don't think she got the information right.
No, we're still very much alive, and you can see that he tosses a look both over his right shoulder and over his left shoulder to both madam and sir.
Yes. And I have a little feeling that she's referring to Arctanis.
Me?
Yeah, I think she's got in her head that if she drinks your blood, she gonna get, because she thinks your blood is so pure that she would be able to go into the daylight.
What? How has she gotten this information?
Don't know. All we know is that we come here 1 day earlier, didn't we? So we have 2 days to be here, haven't we? Like 3rd and 4th day. Yeah. So in 2 days, she said she's gonna actually get here to the village.
To the village?
She thinks that we're gonna, do this job she wanted us to do. But we're not gonna do that. Of course, we're not gonna do that. She's an evil being. We have to stop her somehow, but we knew that we couldn't take this fight there and then. Langa was not at maybe at peak performance that day, and we know that would be a deadly fight to take.
Okay, hold on.
Even if it was at peak performance.
Yeah, hold on. You can see that our father sort of leans over the table and focuses his entire body towards Arctanis. How do they know about your thing, your powers and that sort of stuff? How is it possible? And is this like a normal vampire, or You can see Arctanis just focuses the attention back to you and like tosses his head almost over his father's or your father's body. Do you know anything about the vampire? Do you know if she's like a normal vampire, or is she something less of a vampire, more of a vampire?
She called herself a vampire countess, and
What? Wait, stop. She called herself that, or
Yeah,
you didn't see any evidence of the fact that she actually was?
No, I don't think so. Did we see anything?
What's evidence of a countess?
I don't know.
The servants that you were talking about,
Yes,
were they humanoids?
they were kind of human, but they were kind of stretched, kind of in little bit
They can
weird
transform.
performance. Yeah, and they can transform into two dogs.
Oh no! You
Uh,
can see
we
that he
also-
sort of grows worried in his face.
And from the looks of it, or from the information we could get from it, it seems like she goes way back with Freddy, because it seems like she had some unfinished business with her. So
Yeah, this is indeed a vampire countess. This is much more powerful than a normal vampire.
good thing we didn't take the fight on, I guess.
Yeah, one of the things that symbolizes a countess is permanent, like servants, so that can transform to the bidding of the master. So.
As he says that, I chug the glass of wine in front of me. Like very brutish.
Oh,
Excuse me, can you tell a bit about the vampire countess? I don't know what is like. What is a vampire and what is like? Is it a powerful?
A vampire is, if you would count a normal vampire, that is already a powerful being that has the ability to always come back unless you know where the vampire is from, so that you can kill it in its resting place. Because a vampire would always travel back to its resting place, and you need to drive something through the heart of the vampire in its resting place. Get rid of it for good, or else it will still come back all the time. And the differences between like a normal vampire in that sort of sense and a countess is the fact that for the first part, a countess would automatically, if you beat her senseless, if you beat her into a pulp, if you cut her limbs off into 1,000 pieces, the small parts that are left would still come back to the resting place and reinvigorate the vampire after some time. So it doesn't matter what you do to the vampire, she or he still comes back always to the resting place and raises again. And a vampire countess can also summon woodland beings, that sort of thing, to their bidding just by snapping their fingers. So she can become quite more deadly in the blink of an eye, because all of a sudden there is 12 wolves around you that are also doing her bidding. And of course she has permanent servants as well that, like I said, that can transform. They usually transform into, from what I know, it's usually something that connects deeply with the master itself. So the fact that she has 2 of those servants would say that she has been a countess for some time as well, because usually you get more over time if you manage to survive. So I'm guessing that she started with 1, then managed to get 2. So let's say 10 years from now or whatever, she would be able to have 3. 10 more years, she would be able to have 4. Oh. This is much more powerful than a normal vampire, and the best weapon that we have is our voices and our gestures. Because the only thing that stops a vampire is what you see here, and you can see that he tosses his arms to the side and points towards the walls. Because yes. She can't come in unless she's invited. But of course, that also means a lot of entrapment for the person being hunted by a vampire. So this is not a way to live either. Especially if... what were you going to say?
That she was coming either we did this or not.
She
She's
would
coming
hunt us
anyway.
down. She would hunt us down if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
She said.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in the shape that she's probably in currently. It doesn't matter. We're stretched kind of thin when it comes to guards anyway, but she would rip them apart. They would be nothing to her.
You
So
think that
that's a
place
bummer.
we're at, is that her resting place?
Where did you
Or-
see her?
Actually, just would be normal speed 3 days from here in the Winter Woods.
Yeah, quite close.
Oh, wait, in a stone house?
Yeah,
In the basement.
Oh, yeah, that has been abandoned for years.
It looked very empty.
Yeah, it has been
I-
abandoned for some time now, like for years, literally.
We didn't see coffins.
Fancy
did we?
lock on the door on the way to the basement. I've never seen anything like it.
yeah. I don't think that's her, resting place usually. But you never know. Maybe it changed it, but it didn't seem
Oh,
like.
The locks were on the outside, weren't they?
If no,
lock
she could lock
door?
it. She could lock it from the inside, didn't she? Or was it from the outside?
It looks us inside.
There was no keyhole in the
just-
door in the
I think
front
there were
door.
bars on the outside, so you could lock something.
They just used
Which is-
And
Thank you,
also,
no.
if I was a vampire countess, I wouldn't like show the coffin or resting place. I would like have it behind a hidden wall or whatever inside that basement if it was there.
But before we go on, can I do some take some precautions and cast see invisibility here, just to?
Of course, at least fine by me, and you can see that it tosses a look back at the father of Tariel. Do your thing, just be wary of the fact that there are guards here, and he points to the person in the corner of the room.
It's nothing harmful.
Okay.
Just to see if
Reach
we
my hand
are-
up as well and ask, can I do something too?
What is it that you want to do?
I cast detect magic.
Sure.
Start thing.
Yep. You can start the thing, and if you cast detect magic,
It's one. It's not ritual.
no,
I cast-
your isn't
I
either.
cast-
No. Okay. So with the see invisibility, you see nothing invisible here. Thankfully.
Good. That's good.
Detect magic, check the room below us. Just be no.
Yeah. And detect magic detects the magic on you. It detects magic, some sort of enchantment magic from the sword in the hilt of Tariel's father, and it detects magic from the book from Arctanis.
I lock eyes on the book.
It seems to be of enchantment, at least the magic that seems to be emanating
like a
emanating from it.
Spell book.
It looks like some sort of spell book, yeah.
Cool.
I just wanted to make sure that it was enchantment or not
Yeah.
necrotic or something.
It was enchantment, yeah. Enchantment.
Enchantment.
So we can't fight her. She's too powerful, or is that what you are saying?
I wouldn't fight her in this
we can weaken her
form.
or something.
Yeah, I think that we have to come up with some sort of good plan if we're supposed to fight her. But you said that she had heard that the leader. You said, didn't you say that the leader was on her deathbed or something?
Yeah, but I think she got bad information. I guess she thought that. No offense, father, but if we're gonna go for the purest guy in this room, it's our cat. it's Arctanis.
You can see that your father sort of leans over again and tries to focus his body towards. But that's a long time ago now. Has she been here this long? And
What is
Or
what? No, he
Oh,
is.
yes, Ian was there, yeah.
He's talking about. I was sort of, I guess, very sick and bedridden, but that's a year ago.
Maybe that's she's been here this long.
maybe she just awoke.
What?
No, but if she got the information for 1 year ago when he was sick, then she maybe still believes he is sick.
Yeah, the thing is, it's weird because it is sort of true what she's saying. In the way of we have studied this for a long time, tried to figure out the reasons why, but we come up with no good reason why. But she is right in the fact that my being, the thing that flows through me, my blood essentially, is indeed empowering my magical capabilities during sunlight, if I'm standing in direct sunlight. So that is something that we have been keeping a secret for quite a while, because we know what happens in this world if someone knows that there's something strange with your blood, especially considering all the things 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know how she got that information. That is the kind of a worrying thing here.
But like in this last year, if we look away from me leaving, has someone else disappeared like weirdly or?
Not that I can remember. And he sort of looks over at your father. No, me neither. I don't think there hasn't been too many people leaving this village as of late.
Nobody
She
acting
might-
suspicious.
No,
Or
not that I can think
accidents,
of.
People dying or so, like maybe.
No, there was
Maybe she
there was the
has,
one. There has been this. The only thing that we have had is one young kid, maybe 15, 16 or so. He died tragically, but that seems to be more of an accident because he was a carpenter, so he was trying to rebuild one of the houses and the roof sort of caved in on him. But that seems to be natural. Or
Yeah. Or
Where was he buried?
where was he buried? On the outskirts of the village,
Yeah,
according to his own family.
Yeah, I'm
Why?
just thinking the servants, I don't think they are mortals in our way. And if it was a few years ago and the information that this person might have known, I don't know, might match up timing-wise.
Think that she would dig up someone dead in our village?
That's very
Wouldn't-
specific.
But
Yeah, that seems. But hold on,
wouldn't definitely go past an evil being, but
Ralph.
yeah.
Or maybe she charmed a villager.
Yeah, but it should be weird as well because I think her family would,
Check it.
maybe.
You can see that the
Say
guard
something.
leaves, so he is probably going to check if there seems to be any disturbed ground there. So
Yeah, she can still go like around in the village. Only the houses she can't enter, right?
yes,
Not without an invitation, yeah.
yeah. It's residences, from what I can remember about vampires, that they can't enter without permission.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how far that stretches. I don't know if, let's say that our village was surrounded by walls and there was a gate to come in. I don't know if it would count just by us not permitting her entrance through the gate, if that would be enough. I don't know how far this stretches. I never met a vampire. I've just read about, of course, because evil beings and all. Me being something that is trying to protect life from these sorts of things. So.
But this information about this blood, is this knowledge people in the village know, or only between very few people?
It's a very few, and I would say that if you ask 10 villagers, 9 of them wouldn't know. At least. And if one of them knows, it could be because of things that they've overheard.
Yeah.
So. But then again, I don't know how much they would, like, if they overheard something, how far it would travel. Because like I said, everyone is kind of on edge as soon as they hear something about some abnormalities in some form of blood that could set people off already. I do not know. Even though, in my case, we've only seen upsides with it. So it's like I said, to be specific, the healing capabilities that I have become stronger when I'm in sunlight.
Is it direct, or is it like outside?
Direct. I need to stand in sunlight. So, but of course I don't know what, I can't answer that at all, what this blood would do to a vampire. For all I know, she could be correct about the fact that mixing this with her own blood would allow her to stand in direct sunlight. I don't know. We don't know what this type of blood does in other people, and especially not dead things. Well, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and I don't think it's worth testing either.
No, me neither. But I have one far-fetched suggestion. This is something that I'm afraid that we wouldn't be able to help with in a direct manner. But you of course, Tariel, you know about the Wave Echo caves. The caves, yeah. And you also know, of course, that they are not inhabited by orcs anymore. You know about the murders of the orcs of the Wave Echo Cave, or?
Yeah, but that's when we first took over something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Long ago?
Yeah. But the thing is there now that that has been abandoned by us, but there is something residing within that place, but it doesn't seem to disturb our village. So we don't want to elect manpower to try to rid whatever it is that is inside of that place because of the fact that we don't use that cave anymore, and potential life could be lost in fighting whatever it is that has taken over that place. I don't know if it's bears or if it's something completely different. We don't know. But you probably don't remember this because this was something that I learned when I came to the village, and I think that was told from a very young age to young children.
If it was something political or something I should learn, I probably didn't pay attention anyway, so sorry.
That is okay. You were young, so...
I wanted to grab a sword like a brother.
Believe me, I know. You can see that he tosses a stern look over to you. Yeah, there's this kind of very, very, very poisonous plant that grows in the creeks of the watered down area of Wave Echo Cave. That is the only thing that I can imagine that could, if she was to you, let's say that we managed to convince her that you brought my blood or something like that, and we can mix that plant into it. If she devoured the whole thing, because did there seem like there was a sense of desperation in her or something like?
Well, when we tried to say that maybe we should have one more day so we can like get enough time to manage this task, she was very no, have to do it now.
Oh, okay.
So it seems like she's running out of time. Or
Yeah, so
But do you think that will kill her?
I
Or-
think no, I don't. I not a countess, not in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm hoping, at least, is that it will mess enough with her to give us more of a fighting chance.
like weaken her somehow.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing that we can hope for. Because killer, a countess, no, I can't see that happening. But it's a highly, highly, highly poisonous plant, and it only grows, like I said, in the watered areas of Wave Echo Cave. So whoever is going in to like get the plant as well, be prepared to almost breathe poisonous water the entire way through heading into the water and getting it.
Well, I can go and get it.
Yeah,
Poison
you're a
doesn't work
dwarf. Yeah,
Poison doesn't work that good on me.
yeah, I would imagine so.
Here, and I tap my feeble tip on the head. This guy, he can handle anything.
Oh, anything?
Well,
poison, I guess.
poison.
Okay, yeah. Because if it was actually anything, you could send that thing at the countess. But
That would be nice.
It's poison.
yeah, okay.
This cave, is it many hours walking to it?
No,
or is it a deep
about
cave?
2 hours ish. So not far away at
It's
all.
quite long.
2 hours.
Yeah,
You
it's a
said
cave that
something
we
different.
used to use, but we don't anymore, because of the fact that we were afraid of what would happen to our workers in that cave if they spent too long because of the plant that I'm just talking about.
Something is other than the plant is living there now, or
I would imagine so, yes.
oh,
Because caves that are abandoned for some time has a tendency to attract wildlife in some way, shape, or form.
But why did we abandon that mine? Did we need it anymore, or was it just because of the plants?
No, the plants, we kept trying to like cut it away, make sure that it didn't grow, so that we could be in the entire cave without emitting or without breathing in too much of the spores. But it seemed like it started doing funny things to some of the workers. They were starting to have some sort of hallucinations, even though they were in the middle section and the plant was at the very end or something, like in the very deep depths of the cave. It still seemed to be messing with their heads in some way, shape, or form, so we didn't want to risk it.
Get the plant and get out.
Yeah.
should we do it now so we can maybe get rest after, or
That is something
Well,
that you
we-
have to decide among yourself, of course.
We need a plan how to trick her as well, though.
well,
we
we
need-
need
blood.
maybe some pig's blood, like you suggested. I don't know if you have pigs though.
We do. We do. You, if you would want to trick her in that way, we would need to make sure that the bottle or whatever you use is completely sealed, completely, so that she won't notice it before it might be too late.
But wouldn't it be better to just kind of maybe hard to, I don't know if you have any equipment to like tap for blood, human blood, maybe that's safer, just that she wouldn't
But she's-
suspect anything and
but
just
she- like,
chug the bottle.
She
You're
wanted
talking about
all of the blood, right?
Hmm?
Didn't she say she wanted
She
all his
specified
blood?
all the blood,
Yeah,
so that's a lot of blood.
But what if you take, like, no offense, sir, madam, but what if you take a little bit of his real blood to just get the taste right, and then the rest is the blood with the poison and the pig blood?
I understand your thinking, dwarf, and it's not a bad way of thinking. But what if this vampire gets away somehow, and what if a drop is all it needs to be able to walk in the sunlight?
I think
Yeah.
we should not use your blood, but I thought about just like human blood in, normal, just to have a little bit of a taste. But maybe you're gonna work with. I don't know if it's a difference between human blood and pig's blood. I don't know.
I
think-
don't have that type of knowledge either, I'm afraid.
She did seem obsessed with all, like she was very specific about all the blood,
All,
not just some
yeah.
blood. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
true.
weird.
You can see the
Let's give
worried
her-
face sort of returns to Arctanus again.
Well,
we can
Should
give
do
her
this in one,
a glass bottle that's sealed, but we can like smear the top of the cork with human blood, so like it seems like we spilled a bit, but
Do
it's
you know how much
blood.
blood the person has in
Oh
his
no.
body?
No,
Yes, I know.
I
Like
think I know what
within
you're aiming at.
5 to 6 liters, and then there is pig blood inside it.
Yeah, or you could like have a little bottle, like here, taste this, and have the big bucket besides, and when she drinks the bottle to verify the blood, and she drinks the poison, and then she has all that other blood that she's not gonna need, I guess.
Yeah,
because
I think if we were to tap human blood in a controlled manner and just a tiny bit of it, I could agree upon that happening. But I think if I was to tell one of the villagers that, oh yeah, can I borrow?
I could do
would
it.
Use it yourself. So
Yeah.
You can get my blood. It is probably shit though, but yeah, it's
But can we hide the smell though of the blood?
well. That's why the bottle is sealed, right?
Yeah, but
Did
she
you-
will smell it when she opens it, unless she's kind of
What if he
instantly
gets
drinking.
like
The
drunk
thing-
on blood?
Yeah, the thing that I think we need to hope for, and I don't know, there might be a better choice, but I think that the only thing that I can think of is that if you hand her something big with a lot of blood in it, and you're saying that, yeah, here it is, and it looks like you really don't want to like deliver this to her or whatever, hopefully she'll be desperate enough to not actually like inhale the entire thing before she starts just chugging it down. You said there was a sense of desperation in some way, shape, or form, at least that you had a set amount of days, didn't you?
it felt like it since she said that she
Yeah.
needed it like that day. So it kind of felt like she was kind of.
Yeah, I guess we were just random victims, since we were nearby and.
No, she had marked us, so she knew that it was us. But I think
Yeah,
it's-
but nearby.
yeah,
with the
nearby when we traveled. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I guess we
Uh,
also have to follow her to a resting place and finish her there, or
Well,
yeah,
that depends
yeah.
where the resting place is, but we
I will-
should check at least that house. Yeah.
What if it's not there?
well, then we have a problem.
Yeah,
Don't have a problem yet. We can hope that maybe the poison is making permanent damage, even though she's like
Yeah,
getting
making a
warm back.
recurrent.
We need to try to get something off her, like a hair or something to be able to scry in the future.
I don't think that would be
Wait.
difficult anyways. Slashing and clashing the equipment that you have on you against her, I guess, would make things shed off of her, and it would make things shed off of you. So
Yeah.
Just need to
Yeah.
remember to grab something.
But do we can't scry though. We will get someone else
we
to do
need
it.
to
now.
help. But yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Well, I guess we have to find this poison before we do anything else, right?
yeah, that would be most preferable, yes, so that we know that we can go through with this plan. So I'm sorry, but and you can see that he looks towards the father of Tariel. Oh yeah, I'm sorry that we can't, I guess, dedicate too many guards and stuff to this, but we're already stretched kind of thin because we're helping Neverwinter these days. Because there's apparently a trial coming up in Neverwinter regarding some sort of rounded objects that are made of iron that is supposed to
Yeah.
give
it's
some
crazy.
sort of, yeah, it's
Crazy.
apparently it's supposed to have gotten into the wrong hands, and the commoners can now use wizarding tools.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's not
That's not
smart
good.
at all.
No, so we've helped out regarding that.
I when he starts saying that, I just nod like proudly, and then he starts going in a negative direction, and I look at Audun like, and I pass my book.
Like to point out when this is coming up, I kind of like longer. I'm top. No.
Yeah.
So we're helping with that. So the guards are at a minimal in Fandolin at the moment because of that. So
Yeah.
That's understandable.
yeah. So
But we can fix the plant thingy. That's gonna be no problem.
yeah, are you sure about that though? You can see that he looks like very specifically at you.
I have become stronger since last time. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but are you completely certain that this is the path that you want to go down? Are you sure you want to kill beings with a weapon or not, and not with a pen?
Well, it's kind of hard to say that I'm gonna live this life.
Go back
whole
to
life,
school.
But you know, I'm. You know that. Remember when we was little? Calvar always had, good visions. He always knew what he wanted to do. Always got good guidance, and I didn't.
I know.
But after this incident, I have got really good guidance, and I know what I have to do. And yeah, maybe it's not the life I should live, or maybe not the life you hoped I would live. But I need to do this. I need to find him. Not only for my own sake, but for our family's sake.
Yeah, but I don't understand why he had to be taken away from us for you to get guidance and for you to follow the same path. You're supposed to sit in my chair.
I wish I, had a clear answer for that, but I don't. But I can promise you that when I get him back, I'm back. I'm not gonna. I was always intended to get back here.
Yeah, but you have to understand. We, and you can see that he goes around both to your mother and Artanis. We are humans. We don't know how long we'll be able to sit here. How long I'll be able to sit here with my back straight. How long I'll be able to walk up the stairs to the castle grounds. What if you don't find your brothers within 15 years? You can see that he almost has eliminated the others from being in the room. He only cares about Tariel this time.
I can, understand the worry, I guess. But also we have. I know it's maybe too young, but both Tara and Farah is.
It was meant to be you.
Yeah,
not
but you
them.
can, Yeah, but you can't, hold the fort, I guess.
For how long? Let's say it goes about another 15 years. That's 30 in total. Are you ever going to give up finding him? Or are you going to hunt for him for the rest of your life?
Should we be here? I whispered about.
You feel a bit uncomfortable, yeah.
Focus on the food and nothing else.
Yeah, I'm eating so hard.
I turn to Audun and ask, do we get refills or can I take the other guy's cup?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I can't just leave him like this, you know?
Don't you think that I know that it can't be left like whatever you said happened to him? You can see that it clutches quite hard now around his wine cup. I know that, but what are we supposed to do about it? We're not beings that automatically can find this person. We've had, you know this yourself, we've had paladins, clerics search for him. We've had wizards, sorcerers scry for him as well. No one can find a single clue about where he is.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy finding him. I can agree on that. But, you know, I have to try. I can't give it up. I just can't give up my brother.
You can see that he sighs.
I understand it's painful, but if I'm gonna, you know, not go through with this and take over this city and be its leader, I don't think I can be a good leader. I don't think I could put my 100% into it, because I will always be this nagging feeling I should have done more for Kalvar. I maybe not. Maybe I can't save him. Maybe I can't get him back. But at least if I can at least help him, or, you know, get rid of this curse that torments him, because he's still there. There's something still in him.
Yeah, if you believe so. You can see that he takes a big chug out of the cup and sort of raises himself from the chair and smacks the cup back onto the table. You always were a stubborn girl anyway. I mean, woman now, I guess.
Got it from the best.
He actually cracks a small smile. Fine. I won't try to stop you. Just be careful. We don't know what's in those caves. The only thing that we know is that it wouldn't make sense for them to be empty. So, be careful. And you can see that he sort of gets ready to leave the room. And he pats his wife on the shoulder as well, so that she also raises from the chair. Artanis stays though, but they're getting ready to leave. So if you want to say something to them, you're of course allowed to. But they are on their way to leave the room.
Sorry, can I drink a little bit more wine?
Are you okay there?
Yes, have just notify Artanis when you want something. You can see that your mother, Tariel, sort of leans in and you say that, I'm sorry. You know how your father is. We're glad to have you back. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
We'll talk more in the morning, okay?
Yeah. Well.
And she pats you on your shoulder. And they sips while thinking about bombs. And they leave the room. And as they leave the room, the guard comes back, and you can see, you can hear that the guard tells the Lord that the ground doesn't seem to have been disturbed in any way, shape, or form. And he comes back and he says the same, to the room. The ground doesn't seem to have been disturbed, so we can see no evidence of something being dug up where we buried the person.
That's good, I guess.
Yeah. Is there anything that I can get you?
I just look around if the other ones want something.
Tariel's bro.
If we want something, and I smile.
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you for the hospitality, and I raise No, I raise. I stand up, but it looks like I can't.
race.
I just.
You actually get
I,
smaller. You jump down
I
to ship
can't,
now.
yeah, you can only see my head sticks up from underneath the table.
No worries. Friends of Tariel's are friends of ours. So no one wants anything.
Food,
No.
please.
Yeah, you can
No?
get some.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Didn't you just eat?
Not
It's stress eating.
not this kind of food. I've been living on stale bread, Auron.
He's leaving the room again.
So, this cave, is it far away?
No,
Or-
just a couple of hours away.
A couple of hours, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, when you're still here, Arctanis, I actually want to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about two-faced god?
Not too much. I know that it's rumored to be a god that was sort of spun into one after the seven fought, if I understand correctly, in another realm with the gods, and some gods were left in the realm as the realm got destroyed. And I think that the remaining gods were spun into one, or that was what was rumored to have happened. But what gods they were talking about and that sort of thing, I have no idea. It's been something that we don't have any sort of evidence of, like, at all. So why?
I was just wondering, it's kind of popped up in our travels. So I was curious.
Talks
if
of a
you knew
two-faced
something
god has popped up in your travels.
I just look sternly at Tariel now.
Yeah,
What is it,
met-
child?
we met some fanatics, I guess, kind of spouting nonsense that they should kill us because they believe that we worship this god.
That you worship a two-faced god?
I don't know why you're so weird about this. Because none of us worship it, we just got forced into it. Like, I don't say that out loud, but
yeah.
so
Yeah, I like I said, I've that's the only thing that I've heard. There's been no evidence to suggest that this is true in any way, shape, or form. So, and like I said, no one that I've talked to can either come up with which gods that have been spun into one. So I don't know, but it does make sense. It does make sense to me. It never happened before in. As long as history has been written, that two gods have spun into one single entity, so I wouldn't see. Yeah, I wouldn't see how that would happen now. So. But are there more questions? You said questions.
just
Oh.
trying to remember if it was anything more.
Any place we can rest later tonight?
Yeah, the tavern. You can rest at the tavern if you want to. It will be free of charge thanks to her, of course.
Is my room still available? I
Here.
don't know if you, yeah,
Yeah.
like my room, yeah.
Yeah. So you can probably rest here, yeah, if you want to.
When you say your room, I just stand up. It's like our room.
No, not yours. My room.
Awkward.
There's like a lot of Billy Idol posters there and stuff.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I like that Nelish is sleeping, and now we can see there's another man that has popped into existence.
I think
not
we
sleeping.
should quit around 10 tonight.
This is probably.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
That is understandable.
I don't remember if I had any more questions, actually.
And of
Maybe I
course,
just meant the question.
travel to the cave should be without issue. So that is, it's open fields. You know the way, Tariel. So
Yeah, I know the way. I remember my other question actually now. Because when I left here last time, things were kind of chaotic, so I didn't have a chance to talk with you before I went away.
makes sense. It sounded. I heard half of the conversation from the other side of the castle. So
Yeah, it was a loud one.
yeah.
But my my guide, my
Yeah.
I,
I've come to terms with it. I don't think your father has, but yeah, I have.
not talking about the
You're not
patron, I guess.
Yeah, you're not talking about the.
No, I'm talking
okay.
about my lineage, my my guide from that I always had when I was a child. Wants me to find or there are actually both my guide and my patron, I guess, wants me to find a weapon called Dawn's Edge. Is something you've ever heard about?
No. But Bulba, or Bobby, who we call Bulba. He's still he's still the blacksmith. So if there's weapons, I would talk to him maybe.
Yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, maybe he knows. I know that he, at least from time to time in the past, I know that he has tried to, quench the boredom with reading about mysterious weaponry. So maybe he knows something about that. I can't guarantee it, but I've seen him with books from time to time.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'd ask him, I guess. Well, I don't have any more questions, so.
Oh, I was just thinking that I could, before you set out here, since we can't provide you with like manpower, I could provide you with some others, like small things before you leave.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that he pops up from his chair and goes like into the more of the middle of the room. So if you just like stand still, you can see that it takes out his book and starts reading like a small chant, and tosses his hand up in the air. And
I read the counter spell.
There's a golden like bubble that fills the room. That sort of lays itself around the room, and all of you gain 15 temporary hit points.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
But doesn't that go away after we sleep?
We are going straight there, so it's
Yes.
Going to cave.
Yes, that's what
It's on the
he was
top,
thinking as
way.
well.
Totally safe cave.
We need tomorrow to prep, so we need to do this.
So Fibbletip also gets it, or?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Oh, it would be so nice if
Boy.
it's a big boy. Yeah.
It's got 27 HP now.
Oof.
Work at when you have a familiar, like go from 1 HP to like 16. That was like really nice.
Does my imaginary friend get one too?
No, it's 6
No?
targets. So
Why didn't he get prioritized? That's
Because he didn't know about your imaginary friend. Because it's
I don't know
imaginary.
about imaginary friend.
But yeah, I think that's all that I can sort of help you with. Of course, if you find anything, remnants and stuff left behind, or whatever it is, it's yours. So that are things that we don't count as our belongings anymore. Oh,
Okay.
Well, thank you.
no, thank you, thank you. I feel like this is something that we're doing to help one another, helping you stop getting hunted, and hopefully stop me getting hunted as well. So it's my blood this thing is after, but it's through you that it's trying to get it. So
Yeah.
Yep.
but I guess should make haste and try to make sure that you reach there, so that you will be able to use the powers that I've lent to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go out. Let's go.
Sayonara, sir.
I thank you once again, so that you are actually willing to help me, because I know that this thing would probably stop chasing you if it just got to my blood. So
Probably, but you're to me like an uncle, so that's not going to happen.
I'm very glad that you look at it that way, Tariel. That's how I've always looked at it as well.
You're like an uncle to us as well.
That's just weed, MacGyver.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, never mind him. Yeah.
You seem like a friendly person, but I can't say that I feel that sort of bond to you. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend.
I
Did you
don't.
say Bob?
I look offended as I just say bye and walk out like very fast.
Yeah, his social skills are gone. But he's quite good in combat and stuff, so and he's really smart, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe too smart.
So just be ready for the worst, so that if it happens to be bears, you'll be pleasantly surprised, because bears is something that it looks like you would be able to handle.
Yeah.
I eat bears for breakfast.
It does look like it, and he cracks a small smile at you.
He didn't make fun of me.
I forgot to say this to mom and dad, but I think it's better if like my siblings don't know I'm back until we get back from the cave, at least.
Yeah, I can make sure that that happens, as long as you make sure to keep your or your father's circle. If you manage to make sure that he doesn't raise his voice by an increase in temperament, you know how he is. So
Yeah.
So as long as you can manage that, I can manage keeping the secret that you're here.
Oh, I'm guessing we are back in the morning, but just in case, it's better for them to. Yeah.
You don't have to explain it to me, Tariel. I get it.
Oh, I didn't tell the others this, but I got 4 other siblings, so
Good.
Wow.
there are 6 kids in this family, so
Kids.
kids. No kids anymore. The youngest is 14, so yeah.
I'm only child, by the way. No, I am not supposed to say that.
There's lots of things you're not supposed to say, but you say it anyway.
It's secret.
I'm an only child as well, as far as I know. So.
Your parents are humans? I asked questioningly.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's to be born an Aasimar is born from humans mostly. It's kind of a gift. It's not you know, it's not because you have breed something. It's quite more by chance, I guess.
Is your brother an ASMR too?
Yes. We
He's
are
probably cursed, and you are blessed.
only now he's guideless, you can call it. He does his spirit, his guide has left him.
Maidenless?
Guideless.
Yes, no main?
Spawn.
What about
So-
your other 4 siblings?
Oh, they're just. That seems awkward to say. They aren't humans, or they don't have the gift.
Okay.
And it's not many people in this castle even that knows that me and my brother has the gift. So I would very, appreciate if you guys didn't like wander around screaming, "Oh, look at this! We're going with an Asimar!" You know.
Well, your wings are quite beautiful.
Thank you, but I try not to show them unless I'm not gonna do it in public. I hope.
Yeah, I don't show my marks in public either.
Works.
Marks?
Well,
Huh?
Huh?
Let's go, it's quite late.
yeah, this is getting awkward.
You were
I'm
resistant
already
to poison, you
outside.
said?
Or out.
What?
I've already walked out of the room, but I didn't.
You didn't hear the thing about not telling villagers.
Oh yeah, true. I have to tell him
I
that.
know Tommy
Well,
though! Will you see your wings?
well, see you later, Arctanus. So, thank you.
Yeah, see you by the latest tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah,
Good luck on your endeavors.
thank you.
Yep.
Let's run away! No.
Run away!
Run away! We got 15 temp HP! Yay!
You don't have to, by the way. Like walk out of the village if you don't want to. I can just teleport you over to the other map.
Oh,
Stay
nice.
here
I'll just
forever.
stay here then.
Yeah, you can.
Safe village. Oh, yes.
You're staying behind while we are in the cave.
It's okay, we only send the dwarf in anyway.
We send him in alone. Just fetch the flower. Don't mind if you hit.
We can like time up with a long rope.
Yeah, the poison went so well last time he was poisoned.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it did. I ate it for you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way to describe it.
I saved all of us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's the way I remember it, at least.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
after a few hours, 2 hours or so, heading outside of the village, you come to what clearly looks like a cave.
I don't want to come.
Oh, nice. What clearly looks like a cave, but and it is indeed abandoned. You can see that it's almost overgrown with moss, sort of different bushes that is lying just in front of the entrance. But Tariel recognizes the cave as Wave Echo Cave straight away.
Well,
Yeah.
you're waiting for me.
Yes.
Do you know the layout of the
Oh,
cave?
you were gonna follow up on something. You saw the cave, and I thought, like, is it gonna continue or what?
Yeah,
You recognize it as the cave straight away, I said.
we are going in there. That cave.
You know the
That's-
way? You know that
Yeah.
way?
I know that way. That is the cave. Yeah, we're going that way. Inside the cave and down, down, down we go. Find a plant and
Just
out, out, out we go.
Oh, Oron is gonna be happy then if you're going down.
Just
Yes, you're
one
gonna-
thing is, I kind of have to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're going to end it here. It's just that I'm pushing you over to this map, and this is the map